Greetings. My name is Mae Moss, and welcome to the reading of Conflict and Honor. In the beginning, hurried footsteps touching every other stair startled Jenny. Afraid, she didn't turn to face the approaching sound. She inhaled, then released a short sigh. Barely breathing, she waited to see who would appear, as she remembered her life 2 years ago. It was her junior year in high school. Charlie often told her, "We're pressed on the left by racism and pressed on the right by wannabe black folks, setting up their own oppressive social class." She'd listen closely to his ranting about how ignorant wannabes are, and they're being too stupid to see how all black folks were receiving the same job education in the same rundown school. But instead of standing together, they wanted to separate themselves. Wannabes think they're better off because they got better jobs, more money, and live outside the hood. Yeah, they may not live in the lower end, but they need to recognize they are but a stone throw away from living in its shadow. He passionately raged on as his fiery eyes smoldered contemptuously when he talked about how wannabes thought they were better than them. Wholeheartedly, she supported Charlie's view, so much so that earlier during the year she ran for school president with his help on a platform to unite the groups by one common cause: to have quality education in their school, regardless where anyone lived, because there was only one school that served 7th through 12th grade kids. It bothered Charlie that her platform allowed her to interact with wannabes because he didn't trust anyone who lived outside the lower end. "Jenny, I'm for you, not your platform," he said. "Charlie, we want the same things too. Out of the lower end," he said. "Yeah, but not at the cost of stepping on each other to get there. It doesn't have to be that way, Jenny." "I know, Charlie, and I promise it won't be that way for me." "Good. You and Addie can do it. Just don't forget who you are. You're different, Jenny. You can make it out without selling out," he said. His words inspired her to keep her dream alive, to someday leave the lower end. She and Addie, Charlie's older sister and her best friend, always talked about how they were going to get out, unmarried, pregnant-free, and not as a wannabe. She and Addie were going to use their minds and convictions at a college. Charlie encouraged her ambition and often cautioned Jenny to stay clear of wannabe guys. He said, "Jenny, don't trust anybody who thinks they're better than you." She laughed and told him, "I can take care of myself. I'm not as gullible as you think. I don't need protecting, Charlie Meets." The sound grew faint, and Jenny was finding out how much she needed Charlie's protection. As a shadow crept across the wall, "Reveal yourself," she whispered. Out of the shadow he appeared. Pausing, he looked around the dimly lit room. Up against the wall he saw her frightened face. He didn't move towards her. Instead, he reached out his hand to her. Jenny's frightened body gave way to the safety of his touch. His rapid heartbeat vibrated through her entire body as he rocked her side to side. "Shh. I've gotten rid of him. But you need to hurry. Get the baby and your things together. Only bring what you and the baby will need," he said. Releasing her tight grip, Jenny did as he said. He pulled her back into his arms, and her body leaned into his. She lifted her face up to him. He used his palms to pat away tears on her cocoa skin. Charlie tenderly smiled at her as he gently let her go to pack their things. He walked to the living room window of his second-story, one-bedroom apartment overlooking a busy intersection. Aimlessly, he stared at the streets of Denver, Colorado, without awareness to his own voice. Dear God, where will we go? His question echoed out into the dawning sky as he picked up the phone. "Hello? Addie, there isn't much time to explain. I'm taking Jenny and the baby away and..." Addie tried to interrupt, but her voice was overpowered by Charlie's non-stop talk about his intents. "Please, sis." "What's going on? I've been waiting to hear from you, Charlie." "Now isn't the time for questions," Charlie said, rubbing his forehead. "If I don't take Jenny and the baby away, he'll take her. You know he will." Addie attempted to interrupt, but was overpowered again. "Please, sis, just listen. I know what's best. Haven't you heard, Charlie?" she yelled over his husky voice. "About 2 hours ago, it was on the news. Oh, dear Lord, he's dead. He's dead. Don't you know? He's dead, Charlie. What are you talking about? Who's dead?" he shouted into the receiver. "Rowan. He's dead, Charlie. Rowan, he's dead. Somebody killed him," she hysterically responded. Stillness filled the dawning cold air as Charlie silently listened to his sister. "Charlie, he's dead. The police found his body an hour or so ago. It's all over the news. Didn't you know, Charlie?" Charlie took a deep breath as he closed his eyes. His left hand went limp and the other held the phone like a crutch. His body swayed and he attempted to speak. His mouth moved without words as he wiped away moisture from his forehead. Dumbfounded, he shook his head side to side. His sister's revelation clouded his thinking. He knew Rowan was alive when he dumped his unconscious body in an alley on the other side of town. The past 4 hours replayed through his mind. Charlie retraced every step of the argument and fight right up to the moment he hit Rowan over the head to dumping his unconscious body. Jenny walked into the room. She immediately knew something was wrong by the way his thumb and index finger rested on his forehead. "What is it?" she asked. "Who are you talking to?" He didn't respond. The raging sounds and images of his struggle with Rowan caused him to ramble about what happened. Everything he thought and felt was clouded by his sister's announcement. His high school rival, one of Denver's black community favorite sons, a wannabe, was dead. Startled by her grabbing at the phone, Charlie shoved Jenny away. "Addie, we've got to get a handle on this thing. We gotta pull ourselves together. There aren't any choices left." "Jenny," he said as he looked into her frightened eyes, "the baby and we're leaving Denver right now. I don't know what's going on. I just don't know." His burdened voice raised the inescapable question. "If I wait around, they might think I..." "Think what, Charlie?" "You said you were only going to talk to him." "What happened, Charlie?" "What will they think?" She softly questioned her beloved younger brother. "Charlie, what will they think?" she asked again, holding one hand over her heart. "Nothing else matters anymore. Remember everything we talked about. Only one thing has to change. Don't try to find us, Addie. Don't ever try to find us." The next sound she heard was the dial tone echoing through the phone. Addie's shaking hand was unable to replace the phone in its cradle, so she used her other hand to steady herself as she gently placed it down in its cradle. She slumped down into an old reclining chair, leaning back into the thickness of its back. Her nails dug into the old, torn, itchy fabric. The vibration of the fabric crunched as she dragged her nails across it, breaking the silence in the room. Addie closed her eyes and prayed for them. "Dear Lord, keep them, especially the baby. Heavenly Father, protect her, 'cause she is truly the only innocent one." Charlie turned to face Jenny. He reached out to pull her close to him, but she hesitated. "Don't, Jenny," he said as tears swelled in his eyes. "I love you and the baby. I swear to you, everything is all right," he said, reaching for her again. Never diverting away from his gaze, slowly she reached out and took his hand and led him to the front door where their bags were waiting. Thank you for taking your time to listen to an excerpt from Conflict and Honor. Conflict and Honor is available in all major bookstores. You can even log on to Amazon.com to order your copy. If you'd like to chat with me or send me an email, you can do so at maymoss@live.com. Email me, send me your blogs, let me know what you're thinking about my work. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.